Welcome to the Adventurer Podcast. We get to hear from incredible individuals who have said yes to God's call on their lives. Whether it's taking the good news of Jesus to the neighborhoods or to the nations, we all have a call to share that story.
Welcome into the Adventurer Podcast, where we connect the pew to the people and the people to the nations, all for the glory of King Jesus. My name is Alex Watkins. I'm the Minister of Adult Discipleship and Missions here at the corner of 12th and Chestnut, known as First Baptist Church, Bowling Green, Kentucky. And today we have with us...
Hey, everybody. It's Lauren Parish. I'm the Minister of Children here at FBC. Glad to join you today.
That's right. It's just us two. And Chadwick Walden, who makes us sound so good.
Hey, Chad. He's waving.
He's waving. Yes. So Chad makes behind the scenes. He makes this happen. And so every week when we're giving content into our episodes, Chad's the one who makes us sound good.
You wouldn't hear us at all without Chad.
That's right. And so, Chad, we're very thankful for you and all that you do to make the Adventurer Podcast what it is. And so just a little reminder, we talked about this early on in our first season, which we're concluding today. This is the final episode of season 1. But if you would, rate and review the Adventurer Podcast. That helps us get the word out about the stories that we are attempting to tell as we connect people to the nations, all for the glory of King Jesus. And so if you would, we love those ratings, particularly.
We really, really love the 5-star ones.
How about the ones?
Yeah, those. I don't even know what that is.
Okay, good. So we want 5s. Yes. We would love for 5s and comments. If you comment, maybe your comment will be read.
Yes.
Something very cool.
That would be awesome.
So we'll just see. But today we are concluding season 1. And so that means the conclusion of season 1 also brings about the beginning of season 2. We can count 1, 2.
Sometimes.
It's almost like 6 and 7.
Don't do that. Don't bring it here.
I had to. We're connecting people.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. If you've heard about 6, 7, everyone, I'd be amazed if you haven't at this point. It means nothing from what I understand.
Correct.
Means nothing. So I'm not really sure how it got to be so popular.
We celebrated a birthday on this day of recording. Someone in our household going from 6 to 7.
So much excitement.
It was wild. It was wild this morning. So, but that means that season 2 is going to happen. And so, which is great. So we've got a whole lineup of stories that we want to tell and connect you with people as again, we're connecting people to the nations and how the story of God plays out through everyday ordinary people who put their yes on the table and say, we're going to go wherever God has called us to go. We're going to do what God has called us to do, and that is to make disciples of all the nations, to raise people to be fully devoted followers of Jesus. And as Lauren's shirt says today, raising believers. And so that's what we're doing. So today, as a way to conclude season 1, thought we would dive into a really incredible story. And so this story, you're going to find out all about it. This is the story of Lauren Parish.
Guys, I have feared this episode for months because one of the characteristics of Dr. Alex Watkins is his ability and love for asking really hard questions. And so I have no idea what questions I have to answer today.
Okay, we're going to start. Hard question number 1. How did we get here? Let's start at the beginning.
How did we get where?
Right here, right now.
Oh.
So let's start at the beginning. You grew
You're
up.
You're going to have to cut that out.
You grew up where?
I grew up in Dayton, Ohio, specifically Beaver Creek, Ohio.
But aren't you a Gator?
I am a Gator. So I was born in Orlando, Florida. There's a lot of people who don't know that. But yes, I was born in Orlando, and I come from a household mostly of Gator fans. Let's be honest, though, as my nephews say, Lala doesn't sport. So my brothers basically just tell me what colors to wear depending on what game is on. And that's what I do.
You don't sport.
They turned it into a verb. It was great.
That is wonderful. So you're up in Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah.
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 So let's talk about early childhood.
All right. So I grew up in a Christian home.
Okay. Wonderful.
My dad sold insurance, and my mama is still, for another few months, a children's minister. And so I had 2 wonderful parents, 3 wonderful big brothers, and I was at the church all the time. You know, when we talk about being the first one there and the last one gone to the church building, it's because we had to lock and unlock the doors. And
Been
so
there.
Yeah. So that was my childhood. I grew up being there all the time, sitting under my mom's teaching as the children's minister, and then shadowing her and being her, as we call, gopher, to go do whatever it is that she needed me to do. I've stuffed a lot of envelopes and laminated a lot of posters in my day. And so I lived that. And then when I went off to college, my goal, music has always been a huge part of my life. And so I thought that I was going to go the performance route. I wanted to either go, contemporary Christian or even Disney. I wanted to be a singer on a Disney cruise. Come to find out that's not a good idea, because I learned that I don't handle being on a boat very well. But anyway, so I tried to walk this road of going that performance route, and things that could have lined up really well, the Lord just shut the door on very clearly. And so my final year of college, I had a Christian ministries minor, and I had to do an internship with somebody. And so I requested that I could intern with my mom, and normally they would not allow that. And I said, listen, you want me to intern with the best? She is the best. So they approved it. And so I got to intern under my mom, which was basically doing a lot of the same things that I had always done. But I still learned a lot. No, she made me teach a lot more then. But I still learned a lot from that. And as those doors to performing closed, doors to children's ministry opened very, very clearly. And so ended up serving in Versailles, Kentucky at Versailles Baptist for almost 5 years before the Lord threw a curveball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the curveball.
Okay. I'm not going to talk about the curveball.
Don't talk about the curveball yet.
Sorry, everyone.
Okay. You said you don't sport, yet you use a sports analogy. Look at that.
That's like the impressive one word I know.
So let's go back. Tell us about when you said yes to Jesus.
When I said yes to Jesus, like yes to Jesus, like when I was a child.
Like when you trusted and followed Jesus.
Oh yeah. So I became a Christian when I was 8 years old. I remember this was back in the day when full on Sunday night services were still, a thing. And some churches still do that. A lot of churches have stepped away from that. But we got home from a Sunday night service, and I was chatting with my mom before bed, and I was like, hey, I just want to make sure I understand what exactly does the pastor mean when he says saved? What does that mean? I think I know what it means, but what does that mean? And so mom explained in her children's minister self terms what it meant to say yes to this free gift of forgiveness that Jesus offers. Explained, how we're all broken, how we're all sinful. And my whole life, I've been very sensitive to right and wrong, and scared of failing and all of that. And truly, that hasn't changed at all. But so that resonated with me. It wasn't. I know, as a children's minister, there's some kids who struggle longer to understand their sin and their need for a savior. That didn't take me very long just because of my sensitivity to that. And so anyway, I chose that night, after having it explained to me on my level one more time, chose to trust and follow Jesus, and I was baptized.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really sweet. That's not to say it was hunky-dory from there on out. That's not to say I never dealt with doubt. I actually dealt with a lot of doubt specifically in high school, and not as much in college, but being who I was, being a minister's kid, I got a bit of a goody two-shoes reputation with that. Whether I acted like it or not, people just treated me differently. Yeah. And so I had to really wrestle with that. I was in, the music department a whole lot, and that in itself has its challenges. People come from a lot of different backgrounds over there. They live a lot of different lifestyles, and not all of them resonate with the coined goody two shoes. And so it was hard to do that, and to figure out who I was, figure out who I wanted to be, and still to love people so well. It was a challenge. So
were people always on your mind? Like when you say to love people well, did you just have a knack for wanting to search out people?
I was very much a social butterfly. So I still am. I had friends in every circle, and that's not to say that like I was everybody's best friend. That's not what I mean by that. I mean, like, I had one friend in every circle.
Yeah.
And it was mostly because I tried to befriend everyone who sat by me in class.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that was a football player, and sometimes that was somebody in chess club, and sometimes, and so like the lunchroom, I would usually sit with my music friends, and then I'd finish my lunch, and then I'd go say hi to my football friend, and I'd go say hi to my chess club friend, and I'd go say hi to whoever else. And I literally would just float around the lunchroom until I had seen everyone.
And what's so interesting about that, she still continues to do that today. So that's good. Thank you for sharing all of that. So when growing up, you had your mom as a kids minister there, and you got to sit under her teaching. You got to help her out. When did the thought, or talk about the missional side of things there? Let's connect the dots.
Okay.
So from hopping from table to table during the lunchroom to seeing things at church, obviously the Lord is directing you to get to people. Talk about some of how that connects with after sitting under your mom for so long there as your kids minister, connecting the mission side of things, like we're going to go to people.
Yeah. So my whole middle school and high school time was spent going to Mission Fuge and doing mission camps in the summers. That was a big part of what our youth group did.
Yeah.
And I remember being so excited the first time I got to go to camp with my big brothers. Like,
they were horrified.
They were probably more stoked than me, let's be honest. No, I don't know how they felt about it.
We might need to call them and ask.
They'll say, I don't remember.
Right.
But I remember getting to do that. And every time, if you know anything about Mission Fuge, it's a camp that's put on by Lifeway. And every time you get to, it's great worship and great team building and group times and all of that. But you get to choose your missions track that you're going to do all week long. And so that can be construction, or clearly I picked that one. No, I didn't. That would be a bad idea. So you can pick construction, or you can pick going to a soup kitchen and volunteering there. You can do all sorts of different things. And I always picked the children's track. I always said I was going to change it, and I never did. And so we would almost always go do like a backyard Bible club in a neighborhood or at like a YMCA sort place. And we would always get to just pour into these kids. And it was just the sweetest thing, getting to share with them and just to love on them, you know. Most of them came from tough backgrounds. And so I loved getting to do that. And that just, you know, stayed with me. And then I went on my first international trip. Let's see. I want to say it was like 2012. So I think I had just graduated from college. And so got to go to Africa on a trip and get to experience what that looked like. And I think that was a really important first step for me. That was the first of several international trips. And while I didn't necessarily feel any specific call to missions through that at that time, I do believe that was a seed being planted.
What was that like? What was that first trip like? That first international trip?
You know, it's funny. One of the things I remember the most about it is that's one of the closest places that I've ever been internationally. And it was by far the most difficult time I've ever had with jet lag.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if that was some like spiritual warfare, maybe, that the jet lag was so bad. But I was like, guys, this sounds bad. I was only like, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours different, I think, than home. And that might sound like a lot to you guys, but as we get further in the story, I lived 12 hours different from home. So it felt weird that I struggled so much with it. But we got to go to these churches that many of them had just been built, and just encourage people. We got to worship under a tree in one of the villages where they hadn't built a church yet, you know, and it's just so cool to see the people of God. They don't need the building. They just need to worship God. So it's really cool. It was really cool to be a part of that. And get to lead these kids in worship. I remember going to a school, an elementary school, while we were there, and getting to lead the kids in songs. And you know, this reminder that kids all over the world are the same. Yeah, they are the exact same. Yeah, and you can communicate a whole lot through a smile.
Yeah, we've actually talked about that on the Adventure podcast.
Yeah,
with the Vanderpools.
Yes.
Kids can talk to kids anywhere.
It's true.
Language barriers go down when kids are in the room. It's incredible.
It's true.
And so that's really neat. And so you've talked a lot about music. Just another fun fact that maybe many of you didn't know. She has her own album. Yeah. Can we find that somewhere?
I think it's still on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud? Yeah. Yeah. So it's
a good time for it. It's Christmas music.
Perfect. Look at that. Look at that. Holiday gift for everyone. A Christmas gift. Lauren's SoundCloud album. But if you don't know anything about Lauren, you can sing. And I said it the right way.
Thank you.
And the fact that you have used this gift from God to point people to him. And you still do, even though it's not the primary avenue. You talked about how the Lord shut doors clearly. He clearly shut doors on performance, musical performance.
I wanted so bad to be Dory on the cruise ship at Disney. Guys, that would have been so cool. And it, again, if you know me at all, it really doesn't require all that much acting.
No, it does not. Not at all. But you've been able to connect people, just like kids connect with kids. You've been able to connect with people in heart languages. Music's a heart language, and everybody has their own. And because of the gift that God has given you, not just here that you get to bless people with, but you get to connect with people. And you connected with people there in Africa. And we're going to talk about the rest of your story here in just a minute, the curveball. But you've connected with so many people because of this gift. How has that gift helped you in proclaiming the good news of Jesus outside of the song?
It's always been really important to me and has become more important to me in past years to know what I'm singing. I think it's easy to just sing. Like when you think about what we know, the capacity of our minds to memorize songs is insane.
Yeah.
The number of songs that you know the words to. I mean, every word to a Forrest Frank song is impressive. Okay. And I see this in the kids that I teach all the time. And it's amazing to me to see that. The things that stick in their minds. And so because that's always been really important to me, not only do I want to know what I'm singing, but I want to, when I'm singing, I want to communicate not just the words, but the emotions with them when I sing.
Yeah.
And that is part of performance.
Yeah.
But it's always been more than that for me. It's just part of who I am.
Yeah.
Is to make it so that what I'm singing or what we're singing together as a congregation does not stop at the words exiting our mouths.
Yeah.
But it reaches the heart of what we're singing. Again, whether that's a solo or a congregational song, people need to stop and register the words.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And you've connected with people through that. And it's been an avenue in to proclaiming the good news. It's been an avenue in of building intentional relationships. It's been an avenue in of disciple making, to help people connect the dots. And so let's get to the curveball.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. We're jumping all over the place today. You're at Versailles, right? You're doing kids ministry.
I'm doing kids ministry.
Okay,
Loving it.
For 5 years.
Almost 5 years, yeah.
So half a decade. 5 years. And then everything's going great, right?
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Like you still talk about Versailles around here to us.
It was good. It was a good experience. It was very much, a family there.
Okay. All right. So everything's going great. And then all of a sudden, you gone.
So it was interesting. I had bought my first house when I was in Versailles, and was there for I think 2 years. When I went on another short-term mission trip, this time to Central Asia, and got to, that one was specifically formulated to pour into adventurers who were on the field.
Oh, really?
So that was our task on that one, was just to encourage them, and to give them a bit of an outlet. We still did ministry while we were there. We still did a lot of different things for the church that was there. But bringing a little bit of America to adventurers is sometimes really important and necessary. And so So anyway, I was on that trip, and one of those workers they're both dear friends of mine, but that specific friend is a little bit like you, Alex, actually. He likes to ask hard questions too.
Good. Glad.
And he looked at me one day when we were out, I think we were sightseeing, and he was like, Lauren, what exactly is holding you back? And I'm like, oh, well, I am super plugged in at church. I'm settled. I own my house. And he's like, yeah, but what's holding you back?
Yeah.
If you feel called to this, do you actually have any strings that are holding you down?
Mm.
And it was one of those moments where you're like, ugh, don't ask me this question. I don't want to be asked this question. So at that point, I had gone on a short-term mission trip to the place where I would end up. And so he knew my love for it.
Yeah.
He knew how much those people meant to me. And when I reached out to the person who was in charge of that, who would be my supervisor, and I said, hey, what would it look like? Like, would there be a spot for me if I were to explore coming and being a part of your team? And she said, Lauren, I've been waiting for you to ask me that for a year.
Wow.
I was like, man. And so this was the beginning of me trying to say yes to God while simultaneously giving up as little as possible of my comfort.
How'd that work out?
It didn't. So I had gone to my boss at Versailles, Michael, and I was like, okay, if I were to say yes to like a hands-on assignment and go for 3 months, would you hold on to my job? And he was like, well, yeah, but by the time 3 months passes, you'll just be getting settled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, ugh, don't say these things. You guys are killing me. So, I tried everything. I tried everything to, truly to give up as little as possible. If I could tell you the number of ways that I attempted to figure out how to take my cats with me, like I'm telling you, it was a lot of research just to be shot down. So anyway, finally, I just kind of, I stuck with it. I said, Lord, I will keep walking until you shut the door.
Mm.
And unless you shut the door, I will keep walking. Also, if you could please shut a door, that would be great.
How hard was that to say?
It was hard for me. And a big part of that, and I don't know if this will make sense to everybody. I wanted to go. I wanted to go. I was 100% there to go. I did not want to leave.
Mm.
That was my struggle.
Okay.
I'll go anytime.
Yeah.
Like I'm gone. You say, Lauren, we need you in such and such country. You have your passport ready.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
It's the leaving part that I've always really struggled with. And so I remember the process to become a journeyman with the IMB is long.
Yeah.
They are incredibly detailed. They ask really hard questions.
It's good.
They would challenge you in
Excellent.
your hard questions.
I love that.
All right. And it is a long process of difficult things. And, you know, the first time that they ask you questions that, and with you crying, you're like, well, this is over. But it wasn't. And so I remember it was really cool because I chaperoned a group of kids who went to CrossCon in 2019, January of 2019. And I was sitting in CrossCon when my phone dinged and I looked down and it was my acceptance.
How about that?
I know. And I was like, well, this worship just took on a whole nother level of meaning. So anyway, at that point it was on. So I I mentioned, it's really cool because there's a lot of things that have to fall into place even after acceptance. And one of those things is you can't have a certain amount of debt in order to go. There are things that still have to happen. And it was kind of funny. So I had been in music school, which when you go to a liberal arts college is not cheap. And so I had lots of student debt. And I had been sitting there wondering, like, why did I go through all this? Why did I buy a house? Why did I do all of this? Well, when I bought my house, the housing market was in one place. And when I sold my house, the housing market was in a different one, as it so often is. And when I sold it, I received the check for the sale, for the difference. And it was the exact amount that I had to turn in for my student loans.
Wow.
To be low enough to go. I mean, the exact amount.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah.
And so I sold my house, and the Lord allowed me to move back into my very first apartment in Versailles. I lived on a air mattress for a couple months as I finished things out before I left for training. My last week of work, guys, I'm a children's minister, okay? My last week of work was VBS week at Versailles. You talk about like all the emotions, all the exhaustion, all the everything.
You ran the gamut with those emotions.
It was something. And anyway, so finished off there and headed off to training in August of 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, number one, how did the Lord put on your heart, or how did you figure out these were the people that you wanted to go and work with?
So it's actually really funny. Back many years ago, the IMB used to create Kids on Mission videos. Okay, so when I started my very first Kids on Mission night, the first video I showed would turn out to be the people that I would go and join. And they had a business that I wanted to be able to show the kids what these people made. And so I found a distributor and I bought something and I showed it to the kids. And then all the kids were like, well, Miss Lauren, I want one of these for my own. And so I was like, okay. So I bought more. And then all the moms were like, but Miss Lauren, I want one of these for my own. And I was like, oh, okay. So I ended up becoming a distributor for this company. And
the same people
same people.
The Lord would eventually have you work with.
Right. So I went in 2017 because I wanted to meet these people in person. And so I went on my own overseas and visited them for a couple of weeks. And that was where, my who would become my boss was like, a year later, would be asking me why I hadn't said anything sooner. Had to wait for me to catch up with whatever God was doing.
That's right.
And anyway, so that's how that started. So I sold creations for this company for almost 5 years.
It's incredible how the Lord puts things that He's lining out in His timing to ultimately get you to a spot later on.
Right. And so I get to what we call Expo, where all of these incoming adventurers have to choose their job, look at all the options, look at all the places they can go. And I'm just looking around because I think I know what's happening, but I don't, know. And I look around and all of a sudden somebody walks in the door and they are holding a packet and they hold it out to me, who's standing among all these other people. They're like, Lauren, here's your job. It's been written just for you.
Look at that.
I know. It was wild.
I mean, so you go from that first video, seeing this particular group of people and what they do, to going on a short-term mission trip. Before you even get there, you meet who would be your potential boss. And then just a little bit later, your boss says, hey, we've been praying for you for a year.
I know.
And then here's your packet, and you're going to hang out with your boss.
I know.
And these same people.
Yeah.
I mean, the Lord is incredible about how he works things out in his time, ultimately for the glory of his name. Now, we've got to get into your time there. So we can say the region. We're in South Asia.
Mm-hmm.
We're in South Asia. And a small event takes
one way
place.
To put it.
A small event happens. So get us to that.
All right. Well, remember I said I was in training in
2019.
August of 2019, which means I left for the field in October of 2019, which means that I had a normal term for about 5 months, and then something.
And a normal a term is, because you're journeyman, that's 2 years.
Right.
Okay. So 24 months, and you had 5 months of a normal term.
And then something happened.
The world shut down.
The world shut down. That's true. Guys, had you, with all my arguing with God, had you told me this was coming too, we would not have gone. There ain't no way. I would have said, Lord, I'm sorry, you're mistaken.
Yeah.
But
let's not try. Listen, we're not endorsing that.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. And while there's a lot of things that I'm still processing from that time, I'm really glad I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really glad I didn't know.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in my apartment by myself, which again, we talked about my social butterfly-ness, guys, and listen, the average person needs 9 hugs a day. I am not an average person. Okay. I need like 3 times that. So COVID was especially, just if you could imagine that in your head, I know that everyone struggled, and I know that we all struggled in our own way. But it was really hard.
So how did you impact people around you during that time? If you're, locked down for whatever reason.
I made the most of what I could. Everybody, all the nationals all of us were really afraid, but the nationals especially, just trying to figure out life. And so I spent time with them if they were comfortable with it. But honestly, as I've processed things, I think a lot of my purpose overseas was for the other adventurers on my team.
Explain.
A lot of them have kids, and while nationals weren't necessarily open to me coming and hanging out, my teammates were.
Yeah.
And so I would sneak over there during the 1 hour a day that we were legally given to shop for fruits and vegetables, and make sure that I actually bought fruits or vegetables on the way so that I could, prove my purpose with my backpack full of stuff. And I'd go hang out for a couple of days with friends, just because it was the only way for me to stay sane. And so I would spend a lot of time with them. I became Aunt Lauren to a lot of extra kids. And I think that was a lot of my purpose was to be there for them. Now, that's not to say I didn't do anything with nationals, but for a certain length of time where no one was comfortable, seeing anyone else, that was what I did, was just
that's good.
Go hang out with partners.
So you talked about it early on in your trip to, or was it Central Asia? About kind of bringing America there.
Yeah.
Encouraging the people that are there, the adventurers that are there. And your role in this particular season was to encourage the adventurers that were there, particularly their kids.
Yeah.
And
it took me a while to get there. Yeah. I did a lot of other things. I taught Sunday school while I was there. We had like a youth worship club, I guess you'd call it, that I would help teach. And so a bunch of the teenagers would come on one weeknight during the week, and I would teach them worship songs.
Yeah.
And they'd sing them in church one
Well,
Sunday. And so did a lot of those kinds of things. Trained the Sunday school teachers in different things. Hosted, holiday parties, and some of the girls from the church would come over and hang out. But a lot of that was kind of put at a standstill, for several months. But God was still good, and he still accomplished a lot. Just different.
So we came out of COVID. What was that time like? Because you told us earlier that you're all about going. But then by the time we get out of COVID, it's probably about time to have to leave.
Yeah. So I had if you remember, it kind of came in waves.
Yeah.
So like the first wave, I was in my apartment for about 7 weeks.
Okay.
And then we kind of had a break. And then we had another wave. And I think there were several times that the airport over there shut down completely. And so it just depended which wave we were in, what I was doing. And we would, come up with different things that I could still do.
Yeah.
That were a benefit. And it came to the point where you're just like at the Lord's mercy. I mean, we're always at the Lord's mercy, but I was like, Lord, I'm just trusting you that I'm not going to get sick, and that if I am supposed to get sick, that it's your will. You just had to let go at some point. But it was hard. It was so hard. And I just, a big part of my story is that as we were getting to the close of middle of my term to the close of it, I was not okay. Mentally, I was not okay.
Do you feel like you hadn't fulfilled what you were there to do?
That too. But there's, I don't know where this statistic came from, but there's a statistic that says that on the level of stress, an adventurer functions on a normal day at a 7 out of 10. So add COVID on top of that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we were dealing with. And so we were all just struggling. And so thankfully the mission board takes really good care of their people.
Good.
And member care is a thing. And so I talked to a therapist once a week. She helped me with breathing exercises. She helped me talk through what I was feeling. But my brain had just taken on this, I don't know if it was a fear of death as much as it was a fear of doing that to my family while overseas, if that makes sense. I was scared of them having to worry about that and deal with that.
Yeah.
And so that was where a lot of my struggles came from. And it was several months even after I got home before I was really on the road to healing mentally from that.
Yeah. The stressors of being an adventurer. Like you said, you don't know in normal time is enough.
Yeah.
But then add a global pandemic on top of it. Makes you start to question things. Makes you start to, it allows we allow our minds to go in different directions.
Yeah.
Than the way that God's designed them to go.
Yeah.
And so, if you could sum your time up during those 2 years, because I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say, I don't think Lauren Parish is finished on the mission field, on the adventurer field. I don't. And I got to see you in action in your place before we headed off.
Yeah.
The other part of our team headed off to where we were going. Sum up that time, those 2 years. How would you, if you could summarize?
Golly. Well, we've discussed how bad I am at summarizing things. The only thing I can come up with is that it was worth it.
Wow.
It was hard.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm still processing a lot of it. But because I'm still processing it, I'm still growing from it.
Hardest thing you've ever done?
Oh, for sure. Minus that whole teaching 70 kids without anybody who spoke the same language.
Okay.
That was hard.
It's okay.
It was hard. It was really, really hard.
Yeah.
But guys, life is hard.
Yeah.
You gotta choose which version of it that you're gonna deal with, because it's gonna be difficult no matter what you do. It's gonna be difficult in America. It's gonna be difficult on the field.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of what God's asking you to do. Because the absolute safest place to be is in God's will.
Would you say that one more time?
The safest place to be is in God's will.
Yeah.
If you say no to him when he asks you to go so that you can be safe in America, it's not going to make you safe.
Yeah.
Because you said no to what God asked you to do. If God's asking you to do something, he knows the number of our days. I had to keep telling myself that. He knows the number of our days.
Yeah.
He knows what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. We don't.
Correct.
So I had to tell myself this all the time. Quit acting like your day is in 3 hours. Not that it couldn't be. It totally can be.
Yeah.
But if I choose to sit here on my couch, rocking back and forth, paralyzed with fear that I will end in 3 hours, so what? Make the most of the 3 hours.
Yeah.
Don't live live with an eternal mindset. Live with an eternal perspective. But that's the caveat. Live with an eternal perspective, right?
Yeah, we think about it because we're sojourners who are passing through, trying to get where? Home.
Absolutely.
And so when you want to, you're living your life to the fullest, to the max. And this is where we have to remind ourselves that this is what God's word tells us. This is why Jesus went to prepare a place for us. And if he's done that, he's going to come again. And until he comes again, we're trying to get home to him.
And take as many people with us as we can.
Yes. So don't live your life in fear. Don't live your life paralyzed by again, there are realities that we have to deal with. We live in a sin-fallen world. There will be fear. There will be anxiety, but we cast all of our fears, all of our anxieties on the one who can sympathize with us.
Absolutely.
And we help people see that there's more to living than just right now. There's more to living than being so terrified of something.
There is nothing more terrifying than saying no to what he's asking you to do.
Yeah.
Truly, if anything should scare you, it should be that.
Yeah. And we have examples of that. Go read the Old Testament. The people of God said no. And he turned them over to themselves. Now, by his grace, he always redeemed them. We live now on the new covenant side of things. Jesus has redeemed us. He's made a way. And so let's live for his glory.
He won't ask us to do something that he's not promised to walk with us through. All right. He's not sending you out being like, all right, good luck. That's not how he works.
Yeah. He didn't send you to South Asia for 5 months and then to live in almost isolation for a while without knowing that he was going to be with you the whole time.
He was with me the whole time. Sometimes I tried to block it out because I was a little bit mad, but but he was always with me.
Yeah.
It was worth it, and it's always worth it.
Yeah.
Whatever God's asking you to do, no matter how difficult it sounds or how difficult it will be, it's always worth it.
What's one thing? So So obviously you're here now. The Lord has allowed you to come off the field. You're here at First Baptist. You're serving children here at First Baptist. You're raising up believers. You're raising up disciple makers. You're raising up kids with hearts for the glory of his name among people who have never heard it. What's one thing that you would tell a kid, a student, a parent? You've got somebody in that age range who says, I want to go. What would you tell them?
Go. You mean long term or you mean short term?
Any term.
If God is asking you to go, you've got to go. There's never going to be what seems like a convenient time.
Mm. Yeah, because you were loving life in Versailles.
Right. There's never going to be what seems like a convenient time. You can say, oh, we'll wait till we're empty nesters, or, oh, we'll wait till they're 18, or, oh, we'll wait till we're retired. There's no good time.
Mm.
The good time is when he asks you to do it.
Mm.
And remember that he can open and close any door. There is a massive process in between.
Yeah.
And there are a million ways for him to open and close doors or to slow down or speed up anything.
Yeah.
He'll make it clear.
Yeah.
You've got to walk through the first door.
Mm. Walk through the first one.
Let him do the rest. Just keep walking until he closes it.
That's good. That's really good.
I'm talking to myself back in 2019.
Sounds like she's talking to herself again in 2025.
Guys, do you hear this? They're trying to get rid of me.
No, we're not trying to get rid of you. What we're trying to do is make sure, I've told everybody this. I told you this in particular. My goal, my job here at First Baptist Church is to make sure the heartbeat of God's kingdom rests on every heart that's here. And the advancement of his name to the ends of the earth, for the renown of his name, echoes from every mouth here. And so to give you opportunities, to give other adventurers who've scratched the itch because God put the itch there. Say, is it time? Are you asking me to do something again? Are you asking me to do something different? And so my task is to scratch the itch, help you scratch the itch to see.
And if you feel like God's laid something on your heart, come talk to one of us.
Mm-hmm.
We would love to help you walk through that.
It would give us no greater joy.
No greater joy.
Than to walk with you and to send you. You see, what we're doing here at First Baptist Church is we're trying to build a culture of sending.
And you don't go by yourself.
No.
You go with an army of prayer warriors.
Yes.
An army. And guys, there's no cooler feeling than knowing that on your birthday when you're overseas, there are thousands upon thousands of people praying for you.
It's incredible.
It's so cool.
We do that every Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday night here at the corner of 12th and Chestnut. Those names for that particular day are read out loud.
And remember, those initials
mean
are
something.
a person.
Yeah.
I was initials.
Yeah. Yeah, you were initials. That's right. The reason why they were initials is because for security reasons. But yeah, you go with the local church being your biggest cheerleader. And you go with a family of faith, proclaiming the kingdom of God for the glory of his name. Lauren, thank you for sharing your story with us. I know we haven't touched the whole thing.
Oh, there's so much more we could talk about.
There's so much more, and that's why we're going to have a season 2. And so, because there's so many stories that we want to share, that we want people to hear, people to see, and as a goal to help them catch the wind, catch the fire, catch the blaze that's coming through, and that blaze is God's kingdom advancing across the world for the glory of his name. And we want them to be a part of it. God's called all of us to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
In fact, He's called us to make disciples of all the nations. With the promise that he will what? Be with us
the end of the age.
Always, to the end of the age. He's never going to leave you. He will never forsake you. Go and do what he's called you to do. So this concludes season 1 of the Adventurer podcast. And so we will kick it off with season 2 starting in 2026. Wow, that's weird to say. 2026. So if you would, over this course, before we jump into season 2, go back and listen to all of the episodes. I promise you will get something from them. And then we're going to have some follow-ups with some of our season 1 guests. In fact, we've got a couple who are still on the field, getting ready to come off the field, who are season 1 guests. And so we've got this opportunity, and you're going to hear from Lauren again as she continues to share her story in season 2, and then a whole host of other people. Again, we want to connect people to people for the glory of King Jesus. So as we do, a tradition here we have at the Adventurer podcast. Lauren, close us out.
Sure. From our neighborhoods to the nations, may we proclaim the name of Jesus. Thanks for listening to the Adventurer podcast. If you would, take a minute to leave us a rating and review, 5 stars preferably, on your favorite podcast platform. This podcast is produced and engineered by Chadwick Walden. Catch you next week on Missions Monday.